Ara tu e weu te pō, tu e weu te ao. Ara tu e weu ngā tātara mai haramai rā tātou. E haramai rā tātou ki rungi ki tēnei whenua tau hau whati ana rā parirau o ruperiro nā e rongora ko rongo. Ko rongo ki te whakatipua, ko rongo ki te whakatāwhito, ko rongo ki te mai aroha, ko rongo. Ara kei ngā ranga takapū, kei ngā ranga horami mānga e rarau mai nei ki hui tarangi ora. E whakarongo pīkari ana. E whakarongo pīkari ki te ngā te rio tū mātau e ngā whakarongo pīkari ki te ngā whāorongo marairo. Nō reira tēnā rā koutou ko tai mai i rungi tēnei reo karanga o tēnei tatangata nei. Ko tai mai koutou, a haria mai o koutou aroha, a haria mai o koutou whakaaro. I rungi i tēnei te tangata maki. Nō reira tēnā koutou e akuranga tirama. O tai mai ki te tautoko te kaupapa o tarangi nei. Nō reira no mai haramai. Ka reo tu kumea roa te kōrero ko tai mai koutou, tai mai tātou. I runga i tēnei te kaupapa o te whakamaumahara o tēnei te tangata nei. Te whakamaumahara he aitua o tēnei te tangata nei. Nō reira, nau mai, e rarau mai rā koutou. A tēnā rā koe, te kai whakahaere o tēnei te kaupapa nei, nei rā te mihi atu. Kia koe, kia tātou katoa, e tau mai rā. Kare au tuku me roa, māku e timata mai huki tā tātou hui i te karakia. Nō reira, tēnā rā tātou. Ara he hōnere he korore ki te atu e mau ngā ronga ki rungi te matoa te whenua whakaaro pai ki a tātou ngā tangata katoa. Ara huaina te tapu ai o tēnei kaupapa nei tū hikitia tū hapa i ngā tū torotoro hia tū tapu ai kia tū, kia keu. A keuri ai wai keuri e manu tu huki, e manu tu hoka. Hoko takurangi mamau e tāne taroa moana i tū mai rā, mai awhitia kia piri mai, kia tata mai koe kia. Pai whenua koe i tū mai iuta mai awhitia, kia piri mai, kia tata mai koe kia. Ra e rongo whakairi hiake ki runga, turu awhiti whakamaua kia tīna, haumie, hui e, tai ki e, tēnā koutou, ara tēnā koutou, ara tēnā rā tātou katoa. Kahu.
My name is John King. I'm a member of the Wellington Landsar organisation and I will be your MC for this afternoon. The couple of things to cover off before we start into it is the usual safety activities. In the event of an earthquake or the need to evacuate the building, so earthquake, drop, cover, hold, when the evacuation happens, we will gather down the far end of the park down there and take a roll call and see what happens from there. At the end of this session we've got an afternoon tea provided, and in acknowledging some people who have helped put this thing together, I'd like to thank Department of Conservation for allowing us to use the facility, and also those who have provided their time to put this service together. There's a couple of other people I'd like to acknowledge, particularly those who have travelled from afar. With us today, we have the Chief Executive of Landsar, Carl McComb, we're down the front there. We've also got speeches or messages passed from both family and friends of Magesh. We're all gathered here to remember our friend and colleague. We are here with our friends and colleagues from search and rescue, from climbing and tramping. So today, this afternoon, is an important part of the process to remember Magesh. We will have speeches from various groups, from Landsar, from police and Landsar, from those friends of his who was with him all the time on the day. We've got people here from his employer, Datacom, and at the end there'll be an opportunity for those who want to say a few words to contribute. Without further ado, we will move into the first of the speeches. This group of people representing the police in Lansar, we have Inspector Nick Brown, who's the Manager of Command and Emergency Management. He will speak on behalf of the police. We have Constable Rochelle Andrews, who will speak on behalf of the Police Staff Squad. We have Jeremy Patterson, who will speak on behalf of Wellington Lansar. And accompanying him will be Claire and Nicola. So, Inspector Brown.
Thanks, John. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. If you look out on that vista out there, you realise that actually that's a real taonga for us. And, you know, much in the same way as Mahesh's life was a taonga. So we're here today to celebrate, you know, the real positive aspects of Mahesh's life and his contribution to Lansar. So, excuse me, as John said, I'm Nick Brown. I'm the Manager of Command and Emergency Management based at Police National Headquarters, and one of my portfolio responsibilities is search and rescue. Where search and rescue is really, really, really important for police is not only as part of our duties, which is preserving life and property, but it's around, I suppose, more corporatising it around trust and confidence of the public out there. So one of the things the Commissioner said is that we want to achieve 90% trust and confidence of the public by about 2021. And one of the really difficult things about that is that our current public trust and confidence is around 73%. And the only way we're going to get to that 90% is working with people like you, is to really acknowledge and support the work that you do in terms of making people safe out there and making our staff safe. And I'll explain that in a minute. Pretty much what we know is that when we deploy or we call on Lansar volunteers like yourself, you give up your days off, you give up your weekends, you come out at late notice call-outs, you go into the sticks to go and rescue people and help them out. And we're relying on your experience and skills to be able to do that safely. So we acknowledge that and we thank you very much for it, because without you doing that, unfortunately us blue shirts would be trying to do that. And I can tell you now that there are very few, I'm surrounded by a couple of them here, but there are very few police officers in the country that would have your amount of experience, training, skills and knowledge to be able to go out there and do their job safely. So we really do acknowledge the fact that not only do you give up a lot of a significant aspect of your life to go and do land search and rescue, but we also acknowledge your skills, training and experience in doing that. And Magesh is part of that cohort. So again, just very few words from me. The reality is that it is here to thank you for your contribution. I hope to continue to be able to support land search and rescue with Carl at a more national level to ensure that what's happening here in the district level is the best that it can possibly be, to ensure that a more positive outcome out in the bush. Because without people like you, I think search and rescue would be in quite a dire space. Moi mai rā, Magesh, moi mai rā. Sleep well, Magesh, sleep well. Thank you.
My name is Rochelle Andrews. I'm from Wellington Police Search and Rescue, and I'm also a Lansar Wellington member. Sergeant Antama asked me to pass on his heartfelt apologies for not being here today. I know he really wanted to be here, but he's been called away to a SAR operation this morning. The Police Search and Rescue Squad in Wellington are incredibly lucky to be supported by amazing volunteers in Lansar Wellington. I found a quote that sums it up for me, and that's that our volunteers are unpaid, but that's not because they're worthless, it's because they're priceless. Magesh was one of those truly priceless people. He really raised the bar for all of us when he joined in June 2017. His enthusiasm, his experience, and his dedication, it all stood out. And this is a team that's already awesome. He was a true unpaid professional. We've calculated that he contributed over 300 volunteer hours. He was involved in 7 SAR operations, and that's a huge achievement for only 15 months. He was one of a very few people in our group that are active in both the field and in the incident management team, and he shone in both areas. In the time Magesh was with us, he built up a rock-solid reputation. For me, when I think about who I would want for a teammate heading up into the tops of the Tararuas at night in a storm, it would have been Magesh. I think we can all draw inspiration and strength from the way Magesh lived his life. As Edward Abbey said, may your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, but leading to the most amazing views. May your mountains rise into and above the clouds. On behalf of New Zealand Police and on behalf of lost and missing people and their families, thank you, Magesh.
I'd like to start off saying that Ants does send his sincerest apologies. I spoke to him this morning and he did really want to be here, so he's gutted that he couldn't make it. So thank you all on behalf of Wellington Landsar for coming to help us celebrate the life of Magesh. Magesh was an integral member of our group, and he always was willing to go the extra mile and help whoever needed a hand. As Rochelle mentioned, Magesh has been a member of our group for about 18 months. During this time he's been developing the skills as a search and rescue practitioner. Magesh contributed over 300 hours, which is a remarkable achievement for any one particular person. He attended 5 nationally recognised trainings, and he recently graduated to a fully functional team member, which is a fairly good achievement in such a short period of time. We always saw Magesh at local trainings and more recently at committee meetings. He was always keen and enthusiastic. Magesh, as you all will remember, had an infectious smile and never complained about anything. He was willing to get involved. Nothing was too hard. In the last few months, Magesh was really keen to help the committee with our information technology system. With his computer knowledge, he was the best man for the job. We welcomed him with open arms. His tragic death has left an enormous hole in our group. It has brought us closer together than ever before. I consider us more of a family now. Magesh's tragic death has allowed me to reflect on life. Every moment is precious. Treat each day as your last and make every effort to connect with friends and family. Magesh certainly did. You will always be in our hearts. Rest easy, brother, wherever you are. Finally, I need to thank those of you who have made today a possibility. You know who you are. It's been a huge undertaking. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Sorry. Next one. So this is some words that has been prepared by Satish, who was Magesh's brother, and his family members. On behalf of the Jagadeesan family, we thank each and every one of you who could make it for our beloved Magesh's memorial. Magesh was always the outdoor person in our family, right from childhood. He always likes to explore places and wants to try out new things. Not many might know that he was also a wonderful artist, but he sort of stopped drawing once he was in the mountains climbing. We would always get to see his pictures, videos, and hear from him about his mountain climbing experiences. but we never knew that he was so popular here in New Zealand, and he made so many friends and well-wishers through his mountain climbing activities. The biggest regret I would probably have through my life is that I could not visit him in New Zealand while he was here. We were all planning to visit him next year for Christmas, but God had other plans for him. We were so proud that he was part of the Lansar team and he could help people. He might have left us physically, but he still lives among us, through each member of Lansar and every person who does mountain climbing. He is probably sitting listening to us somewhere from a mountain peak. We all miss you dearly. Mahesh, thank you.
So I have a letter from Vishal to read, who was Mahesh's flatmate in Hamilton. Hello everyone. Please accept our apologies on behalf of my wife and me for not making it to this event. We want to thank Lansar for doing this memorial for Mahesh. It makes his family and us very proud, and this shows how much Lansar value their people. On the 22nd of September, we lost a good friend, brother, and well-wisher for our life. Mahesh was a good person. He cared a lot about community and wanted to give back to the community in a different way, and that's when he joined Lansar. He loved his time at Lansar and started to commit himself to it more and was ready to give up his social life. I knew him since 2009, and he was a different person back then. Even to go on a walk, he needed his car, but very soon he discovered himself in this wonderland and started to live his dream. He started the whole thing as a small hobby, and very soon it became his passion. He wanted to explore and experience the beauty of New Zealand. We would often ask him, why does he want to do these risky things? And he would tell us one thing: even if he dies doing this, he wouldn't mind. That is what mountaineering meant to him. Mahesh was a selfish person and never had any regrets in his life. He neither lived with grudges nor complaints. His life story taught us so many lessons. His smiling face and his great sense of humour will be sorely missed by us all. After talking to his colleagues and friends at a service in Hamilton, I found out how much everyone loved him. We will miss him badly, but all we can hope and pray for is that he is in a much better place and at peace. Thanks everyone for being here for Mahesh. We will miss you, buddy. We love you forever. Vishal and Risha.
Thank you to Nick, Jeremy, Rochelle, Leah, for those words on behalf of Lansar. We've heard a lot from his involvement in Lansar. Now is an opportunity to hear a little bit from those who enjoyed the outdoors with him when it wasn't in a Lansar environment. So I now invite Abby Hill and Daniel to come forward and have a few words.
Hi, everyone. I wrote some things, but so of all the people in the room, Daniel and I probably knew Mahesh for the shortest amount of time. We met him 6 hours before he died, and we walked up Ruapehu with him on that day. From talking with people who knew him and going to the memorial service in Hamilton, we learned a lot about him, which is, I mean, you don't expect to really get to know someone post-mortem. But everything we've heard has made so much sense in light of those 6 hours that we spent tramping. It was very clear that Mahesh was such an open, caring, warm person. It was easy to get to know. We talked a lot walking up the mountain about life, where we came from, the future, and how much we loved just being outside and being with other people who had the same passion. Yeah, so it's almost like we know two people. We have our memories of him from that day, and we've learned so much about him and what a wonderful person he was. And just from that day, you know, both of us wanted to get to know him more, because he was just such a bright energy.
Ciao everyone, I'm Daniel. As Abby, I just met him that day. I heard about him before to a common friend, which is Ruslan, and he also sent a big hi to everyone and thanks for organizing this. He's working South Island now with Doc, so he couldn't come, but he was the reason why we did the trip together, because he came back from Russia, and then I invited him to go on a trip. He invited Magesh, Pasha, and I invited Doc, so that's how the trip came together. And I met Magesh on that day. I wrote something in the past about other trips that I've done, that when we do this kind of activity, like mountaineering or climbing, sometimes we met people on a day, and because we have so many common goals and so many common values, we get close together really fast. So even though it's a couple of hours or sometimes only one trip, you feel like close friends. So, you know, like right now I'm staying in a house of a friend that I only did 2 trips with, but we feel so close together. And that was the same with Magesh. We were there only for a couple of hours, but I could see that we had a lot of things in common. And yeah, after the accident, we were walking down the mountain, and all I could think of was my family and his family, and like how, because I remember on the day before, I told my mom, she's back in Brazil, so I told her that I was going to the mountains, and she said, look, I love you, and I really, really love you, and please remember that every time you are in the mountains. And that came straight away after the accident. I was like, oh my God, what about his family? What about his friends? And we sometimes just take for granted that people that we love is going to be for us forever. So that was a reminder for me to look, tell someone that you love them, tell people that you love them, make the most of time with other people, because you don't know what's next day ahead. But that was also a reminder for us, like why we do what we do. There was a Brazilian singer, and he Portuguese, but translated what he says is that our life is only as big as our dreams and our passions. And my guest's dreams was to climb Everest. I think he told that on the day, and he told that before to his family. So, and being here and being how many people love him, that's how we can see how big Magesh was as a person, as a big heart, big dreams, always trying to help people. So that kind of, because on that day and after following the accident, I was like, should I keep doing this? Is it the right thing to do? Like putting ourselves on risk, because we know it's risky. We know that when we are in the mountains, there are some risks involved. But at the same time, I was like, look, he was there doing what he loved to do. He was in his happy place, and I personally think that he died doing what he loved. I don't know, my advice out of that is do what you love. Like, go out there, and if you love doing whatever, just follow your passions, follow your dreams, because that's what life is made of. I think that's it.
I'll just say, so we are 2 of the 4 other members who were there, and Ruslan asked us to say that Magesh had been thinking about joining Lansar for quite a while before he actually did, and that when he moved to Wellington and finally started on his path with search and rescue, it occupied a very important part of his life, and he was immensely proud to be involved and able to contribute to the safety of his community in such a meaningful way. I mean, that's been said before, but I think it can't be said enough.
So, if there is any other, like Lina, there's other people here that knew Magesh before and was his climbing partner. So Lina, there is Anastasia, if you guys want to say something as well later. But yeah, because we only met him on the day, but there's people that was climbing with him before, so if you want to.
Hello everyone, my name is Elena and I know Magesh about 2 years and we've been actually climbing, mountaineering and camping together and just been good friends. And actually Magesh was the person with whom I did my first mountaineering trip in Ruapehu, and I learned a lot from him, and he always been an inspiration for and motivation for all his friends, and I think he influenced in some positive way pretty much all the people who know him, because of his great values and strong determination in giving his time, giving his energy to other people. So I just think I already say influenced myself and in some positive way, and from him I knew about Lansar, and he also inspired me to learn more about this organization, and actually I want to join this next recruitment. And all that happened just reminded all us that how fragile human life is and how important just to be in present moment and just give your attention and give your love to everyone in your life. And yeah, and thank you, Lansar, and everyone here for organizing this event. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
I'm Andrews from the Victoria University Trekking Club.
Yeah, hey, so I'm Ivan. I was asked to talk on behalf of the Victoria Camping Club. I don't really know what talking on behalf of a club means, so I think I'll just talk on behalf of myself and hope that it resonates with some people. Yeah, so I first met Mahesh in 2015. We were trying to climb Girdlestone on Ruapehu. Sort of a mutual friend had kind of put parts of the trip together. For both of us, that was our first kind of semi-technical mountain. And things went really wrong, and a lot of us got quite scared. And then it was about 2 years before I saw Mahesh again, which was last winter. We met each other in a hut around Ruapehu and spent the night talking. And yeah, I think what I want to be getting at is that Mahesh had an ethos that really affected me. He became a friend. He became someone who I was really looking forward to getting to know more. We had plans over summer, but he was someone who I spoke with regularly and who I really valued as a person. He had a wonderful sense of balance, I think, in his approach to the mountains. I think like people have talked about his style, which I think is really well captured there. But I think also Magesh had technical aspirations and he had like bold objectives, but he never let these get in the way of just enjoying space and enjoying being part of a group in a space. And yeah, I think that that's something which is really, really, really valuable, and the wisdom he had around that, of not letting his own ego and his own objectives get in the way of making everyone feel really included and really supported. The selflessness with which he approached mountains, I think, is something I'll really learn from. He had huge passion, and that was really contagious. And I think because it came from sort of such a place of truth that wasn't so ego-driven. He wasn't trying to prove something. He was just really passionate about mountains for what they were and what they could be in different circumstances. So I guess what I can say is that my friendship with him has affected me. He's someone who I really admire. He's someone who I wish I'd been able to go on more trips with. I wish that we'd been able to go to Sefton over summer. I think my life will be sadder for that not happening. I learnt things from him, and I could have learnt much more than I did.
So Lisa is so Datacom. She was Mahesh's manager, and she's got his work life.
I suppose everybody said everything that could be said about Magesh. Forgive me if I cry. That's really sensitive, but there are quite a few people from Datacom here, and I think that's testament to his, the love that we felt for him. Magesh hadn't been with me for a while. I've only been working with Magesh for about a year. And most days him and I got in early together and always caught up with what had happened on the weekend. But I suppose the most important thing is he was the most humble person. These 300 hours he never ever told anybody about. All these trips that he went on, we were not aware of. He was just the most humble, down-to-earth person I've ever met. We work in a little room that is pretty closed off, so we form quite tight relationships. But what is amazing is when you only realize how close you do become to people when something like this happens, because work is work. And you arrive every day and you just go through the motions. But I think when we lost Magesh, I don't think any of us realized how close we had become and how important Magesh was to us. So all I can say is absolutely our lives will never be the same again. We will miss him eternally. And the one thing I will say is he joined us after a few years at Auckland, in the Auckland team, and a few of us went down for the memorial. And what was astounding is the friendships he made in the Datacom office in Auckland. Those people all came down, and the love that they had for him was incredible. And I just think that's really testament to the type of person that he was, that people that he's worked with would take the time to come down and have lifelong relationships with people that he worked with for such a short period of time. So I know that in Datacom and certainly within our teams, we will miss him. And yes, thank you.
So over the last 40 minutes, we've heard a lot about Magesh, his involvement with search and rescue, his involvement through climbing and tramping, and also through work. There's a lot of memories there, a lot of the same words keep coming through, and I was trying to write a few of those words down, but I kind of don't have enough paper to cover everything off, so I'm not even attempting now. The next part is an open floor for anyone that wants to anything, but we'll start off with a couple of people from Mahesh's intake into Lansar. One of the reasons we chose this venue is that when the volunteers join Lansar, and we go through some formal sessions, some interviews, and then they come up here, and this is really where their journey on Lansar begins. So I'd like to invite Frank and Casey to come and say some words on that.
Right. Hi all. Here are Frank, Casey. As John said, we're from Mahesh's intake 2017, and yeah, this place, Kidspool, this area, has a special connection for us with Magesh, as this is where we first got to really know him. We really got to spend time with him on this overnight assessment. And Magesh proved to be this cheerful, capable and wonderful personality that all the speakers before us have already said so many nice words about.
Magesh made diversions all over town to pick us up and take us to training and take us to searches. He lived in Nainoa, but he came down to the south coast and he did a big sweep and he picked me up and he picked up Jeremy and they did that all the time. It was amazing. He washed ridiculous numbers of dishes at our training sessions. Never seen someone wash so madly. It was awesome. He'd keep going no matter how much water was seeping through his Lansar jacket or filling up his pockets. You guys know what I mean. Several muesli bars, a torch, and at least one of his notebooks was sacrificed in those pockets. He was always interested in what we were up to if we hadn't seen him for a bit. And we saw him, every couple of weeks to every month for the last 15 months. But he was always interested no matter what. And he also always had a good story about what he'd just been doing with his mates on the hills, or where he'd been rogating, or where he'd been running from Nainoa across Belmonton over to the south coast. And of course, he was always up for a laugh, particularly when it came to pet rocks in people's packs. So bring it on, Sarex this year, guys. There's plenty of rocks going up the hill.
Right, a lot of people couldn't make it today, but we got many condolences sent from people that Magesh touched on, like the national courses we did and some searches. So I would like to read out a message from Sasha from our intake. Hey Magesh, all of us are here in Lansar because we want to help people, do good things. But Magesh, you were special in that you remind me that our intentions are just as important for our everyday interactions. And they add so much to people's lives. There were things about your personality that really added to my life. I'll never forget the times I would watch you at training sessions after weeks of not seeing you, and you would ask me about how a specific mountain bike trip had gone. You'd always surprise me, as there were things I would not expect anyone to really care about, let alone remember 2 months later. I really value our short friendship. Thanks for being great, you and Magesh, in so many ways, and inspiring me to be a better person in my day-to-day life. Sasha.
And I've got one from Bonnie, who was the youngest of our intake. I think there were about 10 of us that came through together, really amazingly diverse group. Bonnie was the youngest, and I've got this to read. I first met Magesh on our overnight assessment when we were to be tested to see if we had the skills to become a volunteer. Magesh was one of the first members I spoke to, and one of the first members that asked me questions about myself. That evening we walked and talked. He always made the best conversation and gave a helping hand when needed. He took away my nerves that night that I'd had leading up to the assessment. He talked about his passion for the mountains and what brought him to the beautiful New Zealand. Magesh made mine and many other experiences with Lansar Wellington a memorable and fulfilled one.
Right, we have to finish. As an intake, we are so used to being together, And losing Mahesh leaves a big gap in our family, and will do so for a long time to come. We'll miss him. Alright, as this is an open floor now, we would like to invite anybody else who would like to say a few words to come up and just take the floor. Anybody who would like to say anything? Okay, then Campbell.
I'm from the Wellington Lenso group, and certainly, like a lot of people in this room, didn't know Mahesh for a great length of time, and certainly not long enough. I was incredibly impressed with Mahesh as a person and as a contributor to our group. I had a number of fantastic conversations with him, mainly at trainings and out in the field doing short trainings as well. And he was a real worker and willing to contribute his time and his friendship. It's been certainly reflected in everyone's great comments, how easily he was as a person to get to know, and the interest that he showed in everybody else as well. So the other thing I was really impressed was with him, just his passion for New Zealand and everything adventure and everything that New Zealand has to offer. So we'll certainly miss having him out doing those adventures in New Zealand. As I say, I didn't know him well enough. I certainly had a lot of time recently to reflect on my time and my conversations and friendship with Mahesh by collecting a few river rocks from the Hutt River and carving his name in them 60 times. So this is all about everybody having an opportunity to take a rock somewhere special to you and reflect on Mahesh, share with yourself, perhaps others that are on a trip with you, that memory of Mahesh. And I think a really important part of this whole process is getting to know someone better than you did when you arrived here. So that's certainly been this experience for me, and hopefully this can carry on that experience to lots of wonderful places that you've either been to with Mahesh, or perhaps somewhere that he told you that he wanted to go, or somewhere just simply really special for yourself. So an opportunity if you'd like to take one with you and drop it in a special place.
So is last chance for anyone else that would like to come forward and say it?
My name is Lucy, and I knew Mahesh through the Trampoline Club, I guess, and also he this year he quickly became my running partner. We trained for the race, the Road 2K, and I think the most impressive thing about Mahesh is that my running speed is about 30% of Mahesh's running speed, but he was always willing to come along with me running at night after work, up the Belmont Hills, up the Fire Break, and always by the top. Never be always by. He would always be a wee bit ahead and not pressure me to keep up, but always be there waiting. Always had lollies for half time. The same lollies every time we went tramping. He always had those lollies, and I could always rely on Mahesh to have them. And I remember saying to him, I owe you a massive bag of those lollies because I've eaten so many of his, and I never got to obviously get those lollies. Also, I wanted to reiterate what Ivan said about how Mahesh is, like reiterating what I said. he's capable of so much. He's always, every time I've been with him, he's been the fittest and most capable in the group. But you would never know that, which makes you feel so safe around him, because he'll never sort of enforce what he wants to achieve or where he wants to go, but he'll always be there with the group. So I think that's pretty impressive about him. And the other big thing about Magesh, which I really admire, is that, like we said, he's very capable, and on Lansay he's involved in so much, but he was also such a big kid, and he was always laughing and always having a joke and always playing on things. Like, for example, I'd message him, "You still keen for a run tonight?" And he wouldn't respond to my message. We'd go for a run, and then later on that night he'd reply and be like, "Yep, still keen." Like 4 hours later, just stuff like that. And, he was always smiling, always having a joke, always having a laugh. He was really just a big kid. So I think that was, a big thing about Mahesh's personality, which I really, really enjoyed being around.
Your contributions today, this is important to remember the process that we need to go through to remember Magesh. Before we have the final blessing and closing, just a reminder of the cup of tea coming up shortly. And also, some will have spotted the plaque up the front here. It's a plaque that Lansay have provided. It will receive a blessing shortly, and then it will be secured in a suitable location, away from the beaten track, of course. Location will be GPS for anyone that wants to go there. So there's an opportunity, if in the future you feel like you want to go spend some time with them. We have the plaque there. On the top of it is it's not just a random silhouette, it's actually a silhouette of a photo of Magesh standing on top of a mountain looking at the sun rise, which we're certainly looking at, and it's a classic view of him. So, and afterwards, an opportunity to grab one of the rocks, and these are for you to take home with you and to do with it as you need to. I do have one quote that came out not long after we notified our members of Mahesh's passing. 2 posts came out on our WhatsApp. The first of those is the Rest in Peace, brother. The second one was followed fairly promptly by, and I've had to use the politically correct version, Bugger, rest in peace. You smash the hell out of wherever you go. I think we've heard today from people who have seen and know what Magesh is capable of doing, and the tears from our ancestors falling today, we are reminded that Magesh is in a better place, doing exactly what he wants to do. So to conclude today's memorial service, I'll hesitate momentarily. John?
Kia ora mai rā tātou. Just listening to all the kōrero from everybody about this gentleman certainly was an adventurer. Eh? Certainly was an adventurer. Travelled all over the world, did what he loved. Been in the outdoors. Kept it to himself. It sounded like he was a very humble person. Listening to the lady over here at Datacom, she didn't even know what he got up to. Kept it to himself, but he loved that outdoor stuff. Getting himself involved in Lansay. I didn't even know what Lansay was. I heard about Lansay, but I found out today when my colleague over here brought me over. He gave me the program of what's happening today. And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing Sa. And then he mentioned it on our way, search and rescue. Oh, Sa. Got himself involved in that sort of work. I take my hat off to you people for doing that sort of mahi. Not an easy job. I like to walk around, but on something flat, like a golf course. There's only a couple of rises. And I'm puffing walking up those rises. I'm puffing, looking around for my ball. I take my hat off to you people that do that sort of mahi out in those sort of conditions. Weekends out in that sort of wet, uncomfortable sort of environment that I am not used to. Kia koutou, kia kaha, kia tū, kia maia, haere tonu o koutou mai. Be strong, be of heart, and carry on the massive work that you do for all our people in this country. As I said, this gentleman was an adventurer. He has now climbed his mountain. He is at the top of his peak, looking down on all of us from the top. From above, Orongorongo, from above, Pokeatua, from way above, Ruapehu, from way above Everest. He is at the top of his mountain. And listening to a lot of kōrero that this gentleman had done while he was here in our country, meeting up with a whole lot of new people that had a lot in common with what she's doing. It's great to hear. I didn't know the man. I met him now, today. It's good to hear the sort of the kōrero that the people that he touched. Nō reira e te rangatira. Moi mai rā, moi mai rā, moi mai rā, e te toina tango o te rā. Sleep. Sleep to the rising of the sun, sleep to the setting of the sun. Rest. You have conquered all the mountains here in this country, all over the world, but you have conquered your mountain wherever you are. Nō reira, e Makesh. Haere atu rā ki tērā taha o te ārai. Haere tērā ki tērā taha ki te hunga wairua e tatari mau hei manaki. Hei tatari mau e tai atu koe ki a rātou. Go to those ones that have been waiting for you. Go to those other climbers that have already conquered their mountain to take you up with them. Nō reira, e te rangatira. Takoto mai, moi mai, moi mai, e moi. What I'm going to do now, people, is just do a little akarakia ruruku, just to send his wairua, his spirit on its journey. Alright, whether it be the top of the mountain. And I'm just going to sprinkle, how ironic. I brought some water. Magic water. Makes you go faster and things like that. But it's from a mountain, from Taranaki Mountain. Some relations of mine went back to Taranaki, and every time they go back there, there's a stream that runs down from the mountain. They grab it to bring it home. You know, for special occasions like this, for special occasions and blessing houses and things like that. We call it holy water, but it's wai Māori. What we call wai Māori. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a karakia, a ruruku, blessing our plaque, our taonga here, our tohu, and I'm just going to bless all the pohatu, all the stones that are in the thing. So tēnā rā tātou. Para e te matua takaharawani o inoi atu tēnei mātou ki a koe mau tonu hei tiaki, hei manaki, hei awhina hoki a mātou i tēnei wā. Ara, i ngā wā katoa. Ara matua te pō, matua te ao. Mātu tua i ara wakatahi ko te pō i kimihia ko te pō i rangahawa ko murutai. Tuku atu ana ki raro ki te tata o te pō ka moe tāpore. Whakaputaina mai ana kore nau matua te pō, ko te pō tuatahi, te pō tuarua, te pō tuatoru, te pō tuawha. Te pō tuarima, te pō tuaono, te pō tuawhitu, te pō tuawaru, te pō tuaiwa, te pō tuarea. Tuarea ki waho ki te whaiao, ki te ao marama. Ara ka turu o takawa ka whakamana takawa he kamana rangi nui e tūnei he kawora. Tai ata kawatua tahi, tai ata kawatua rua, tai ata kawatua toro, tai ata kawatua whā, tai ata kawatua rima, tai ata kawatua ono, tai ata kawatua whitu, tai ata kawatua waru. Tai ata kawatua iwa, tai ata kawatua ngāhuru. Rata ki nā te kawa he kawa ngā tana roa. Kia pipi, kia pana, kia whai aki rarui o nā tāranga tūketaraki. Eke panuku, eke tangaroa, tū mai te tōki, haumie, huie, tāiki e. Ara tēnei hoki taku take e rongo māru a whatu whānau waiho i rungi i te pū whakamāroro au. A moa ke au i tāku toki ko te awhi o rangi waiho rua. I hoki ki runga, i hoki ki raro, i hoki ki te whai au, i te au mārama. Maruka huna tangaroa unihia. Unihia i mua waka i rata waka i a tā.